Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It is great to see you. Happy Saturday night. Guess who's here?
Rebecca from Storyteller Wool.
You knew.
It's my 4th anniversary of coming here.
Seriously? It's
Yeah.
the 4th.
I think.
I feel like, but we've done other shows in between when I went to see you in Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's my 4th July.
It's her 4th July.
Coming here.
So we were talking, welcome everybody. I'm going to say welcome. But we were saying earlier that we can't believe it's like the 4th time, the 4th row.
Yeah.
The 4th July in a row that you've come. And we do different stuff every time. Yeah. Like we just had a really busy day, right? And yesterday, super busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we find different stuff to do because it's New England. There's so many things to do. We were very busy when we were at your place too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we probably have like a slightly, a definitely shorter show tonight because I think we're both destroyed with tiredness. Mm-hmm. And but we have so many things to share with you, and that is the thing. So we want to be sure to share the things that we've been working on and decisions that are being made and all of that stuff. But most important, and thank you for joining us on a weird night. We never have shows on Saturdays, but we had just come home from Newport yesterday, right? And we were really tired because it was hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Well, and I flew in at midnight the night before.
You flew in. You got in at midnight the night before. So, and then we left in the morning for Newport, and we just had a long day out there making plans that we'll talk about. Yeah. And we got in late. There was no way we were running a show last night. So thank you for joining us on an unusual night. Thank you for being flexible because it is great to be together.
It is.
So Cheryl on the Cape, great to see you. Oh, so happy to see you too. Myra, great to see you. Cheers, my dears from Virginia.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to cheer. We both have water, right? We've both kind of had it. Let me make sure you're falling off of the thing. Is that swinging? Is it slowly swinging over like the pit in the pendulum?
We're good.
Cheers, my dearest Diane. Great to see you in Canada. Melissa, great to see you also in Canada. Hello to you.
There's Karen from my neck of the woods.
Oh, Karen's on. Yep, from Black Forest, Colorado. Yeah. Great to see you. Valerie in Rehoboth Beach, great to see you. Linda B, great to see you. All our buddies are here. Gail's logging on from Australia. Great to see you. Welcome on all of the buddies. I'll keep an eye on the thread. Sue's great to see you in Kansas. I don't even know where to start.
Why don't we start with Newport?
Okay, yeah. Why don't we start with Newport? That's a good place to start. So so let's start with some news, some rug news, all right? Yeah. And breaking news. Yes. I think it's breaking news. Because we have to update everything on the TIGHR website. For those of you who are TIGHR members or who between now and autumn of 2027 will join us as TIGHR members, if you are brand new to this, TIGHR is the acronym for the Association of Traditional Rug Hooking Artists.
No, that's not the...
TIGHR
is the International Guild of Hand Hooking Rug Makers.
It is. Thank you.
National versus international.
I swear, I'm totally drinking water, right? We know that this is water, not vodka. I am just shot, man. So we've been planning the event for autumn of 2027. And doesn't it seem like that would be miles away?
Right.
And yet.
Yeah.
So we kind of flip-flop between hotels. I told them, for those of you who will be coming, it will be, should we say the dates?
Yes.
Do the reveal.
Yes, because today... or yesterday, the contract was signed.
Signed the contract.
The dates are firm. Newport, Rhode Island, at the
Viking Hotel. Yeah. Right, that was a switcheroony. And I explained that we were, they knew we were looking at the Marriott as well. We were looking at a lot of different places, but at the end of the day, I think that the Viking, and I know we feel the same way. Yeah. I think that the Viking has the best old Newport vibe. So we worry about turnout, and we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. But it is scalable. Yeah. So if it ends up turning into an enormous event, we can still do it. But we've been very lucky to be able to partner with the Viking Hotel because it's a one-off hotel, right? They're very flexible. They want to make this work. It's not like we're one of 100 people who are trying to do deals with them right now. They really wanted us to be there.
And with us being a small nonprofit, they've been very flexible with us and realizing there's only so many risks a small nonprofit would take versus huge lavish wedding or a big corporate retreat. We're a different animal, and they've been great about that.
Yeah, they have been great. It's a great venue, and you all who are coming, you're going to love it. It is a dream to be there.
I mean, the whole town, but then to have such a beautiful hotel,
yeah,
which is undergoing, starting, I think, in a few months, a massive renovation.
And we've got the now prices.
Yeah, so they locked us in for the now prices, and it's going to be, I mean, it's already a stunning, gorgeous hotel, and it's going to be fresh and perfect, and
it is.
It's going to be really special.
It is. The rooms we've seen, like we saw the example of the preview room last time we went, and it's absolutely beautiful. Very classy, very understated. Has that old world charm, but it still has that sort of jazz, because Newport jazz has that like contemporary edge to it. It is so charming. I mean,
And the room, when you walk in, it's this beautiful but intimate lobby. Yeah. And then it's this gorgeous ballroom where the rug show is going to be.
Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's like a Titanic ballroom. Yeah. Like it's like that, chandeliers.
It's just elegant with nice woodwork and beautiful carpets.
It's not like a cookie cutter at all.
And it's a lovely room that can really house an impressive show. So,
an amazing show. Because we know we've got the endangered species exhibit in there. That's about 100 rugs.
And then all the rugs that TIGHR members will bring, and all the challenge rugs people will be working on.
And then there'll be other stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In almost any place that you go, like any nook, you walk out the door and there's like some crazy patio out there with fairy lights,
And then on the inside, you turn and there's a lovely grouping of chairs, sofas for people to sit and visit, and
there's so many places to be. There's so many nooks to be, and the breakfast area is beautiful. It's just in the spa. Do you remember the spa? It's all the walls are salt.
That salt wall
looks like alabaster. It's all salt,
and it's one of the closer hotels to all the mansions.
Absolutely,
the Newport mansions.
It's
just
on
down
Bellevue
the road.
Avenue.
Yeah, it's just down the road.
Yeah, it's on Bellevue. It is opposite the first synagogue in the country, Touro Synagogue. It is also diagonally opposite the first library in the country, right? The library right there on Bellevue is the first library in the country.
And then that fantastic art museum.
Also across the street.
And we're already researching for both the library and the art museum to have even more education space depending on how that goes. So.
Yeah, we can have, if we can find more spaces that are economical, we can have more.
Fun restaurants just right down the road.
Yeah, what about the chapel?
The chapel. Yeah, you know what? You don't expect... like a conference hotel, and it's this gorgeous.
But it's not a conference hotel.
No, it's not, and it's this gorgeous old church that is adjacent to the hotel property, and they now own it. And it's a stunning old chapel. And since, did we actually say the dates? We didn't say the dates.
Oh my God, say the dates.
October 31st is our first
Halloween
evening where we will be starting out in this lovely old chapel with some fun. Surprises and entertainment, and we're
first night Halloween.
We're gonna embrace the time of year.
Yeah, for people, I mean, for everybody, it's gonna be fun because the chapel is like, it has a Gothic feel to it. It's got these like crazy, this Tudor buttressing, right? I mean, the ceiling is like nutty nutskins, and it's just a stone floor.
Beautiful woodwork.
It is so beautiful. It's like a little gem. We can use that the whole time we're there.
So we're busy dreaming of all the different things we could do in the evenings in there. And it's right, you have this huge, beautiful old hotel. Yeah. And then the parking lot behind it, and then there's the chapel. So it's like on campus.
The side street. Yeah, this little ancient stone thing. It is so old. It's early 1800s, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's so cute. We were talking about things, because we can brainstorm here too. We were talking about things that we could do in there. We were talking about, because we want to use it as much as we can, because we're paying for the whole thing. We might as well use like all the bits and pieces, right? But we were saying how nice in the evening if we could find things to do in the chapel besides the first night. You don't want to say what the theme of the first night is?
It's Halloween themed. Yeah. And we could talk about like, there's probably going to be some ghost stories.
There might be some ghost stories.
Because that's very...
There might be some ghost walks for people who want
to the area. I mean, they do ghost walks, and there's just a lot of history.
Because they're letting us decorate as well.
Yeah.
Which is so like, I assume they wouldn't let us decorate it in like this 200-year-old chapel. Yeah. But they were like, decorate all you want.
Yeah. It's not like we'll be putting duct tape on the walls.
No, I'm not going to spray paint or anything, we're not going to set off fireworks inside or anything like that. But we do have some cool ideas.
Yeah. So lends itself to so many different things. So
yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So
so if you're not a TIGHR member yet, and then also for just another TIGHR thing, my summer's been a little chaotic, but I have on my to-do list, I want to host a beginner punch needle class for the TIGHR group on Mighty Network. So I'm here now, and I'm going to be at my McGowan Teachers Workshop all next week, and then I'm home for 2 weeks, and then I go to Sauder in Ohio, and I'm kind of hoping during those 2 weeks, at some point, once I get my feet under me, that and it'll be my first time using the Mighty Networks live feature, but I do believe it'll still record. So if you can't catch it live, I'm going to do a punch needle class, because what we try to do on Mighty Networks is to provide articles, interaction, photos,
interviews,
classes,
videos, classes,
and if you
challenges.
And if you haven't read the most recent article about Eleanor, who is our oldest TIGHR member at 95 years young and just a gem. And we're now pen pals. It's really great.
Yeah,
she lives in Florida, and I just so enjoyed writing back and forth with her to write the article, that when we finished it up, and I'd already put the article on Mighty Networks, I wrote her and I said, I'm really enjoying writing to you, and she said, me too. And I said, let's keep writing.
Aww.
So
she's cute as a button.
So we're enjoying that.
She's cute, and she was at Niagara Falls for the last TIGHR. She took the trip up there. Yep. So she is a real gem, and that was Rebecca wrote the most beautiful article on Eleanor. Absolutely beautiful. I hope that you read that. So you're going to be putting up some content. Naomi's going to be Naomi was with us yesterday. Haley was with us yesterday. Naomi's starting to work on her dye thing, right? She's doing a dye video. So she's going to be putting up a dye video. So we're all putting up content in turns. And the 3 years are going to be 3 busy years of a lot of content challenges. We're putting out a lot of patterns. We've already put out a couple, but we're putting out more.
Yep.
That are challenge related, So, beyond that, let's just say it. Let's put the word out there and say, hey, let's also brainstorm for those of you who are thinking about coming to TIGHR, right? This is an international triennial event. So it's not like, I'll go the next year. Because the next year, it probably won't be in the United States. Right. It certainly won't be in the same area. If you are in or near the East Coast, it'll likely be in another country again. Right. Because it moves. The board moves every 3 years. And this sort of 3-year tenure that we have as board members, we can do whatever we want. We're making a very densely sort of populated 3 years filled with all these activities and challenges and all this content, and it will culminate in this party that we have in Newport, starting on Halloween, October 31st, 2027, and we will have a ton. We'll have a ton of classes, talks, all kinds of things that stem for that. Some of them are sort of a la carte things that you choose, and of course, lots of teachers to present you with. Lots of vendors. So I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. If you have somebody in mind who you love to see as a teacher, and you're thinking, well, if that person went, that would be really exciting for me. Either ideas for us for people who would be wonderful teachers and people who would be wonderful vendors. And we have a heavy emphasis on rug hooking and rug hookers, but it is generally fiber art. So if you're thinking, well, I know somebody who is a quilter, or somebody who does a different needle art, or some other fiber art, maybe a weaver, a drop spin, or something like that, that might do a class that is a sister craft for us. Give us, brainstorm with us these names, because we will certainly research all of the names we've got. It's not like we go, I'll check it someday. Like, we always check when people sort of work with us with names.
And one of the classes I really enjoyed taking at the TIGHR conference that was in Niagara Falls was about how to make Dorset buttons.
Yeah,
and you think a Dorset, like it's just like a kind of woven button. How would that be related to rug hooking? But in fact, Eleanor, in her most recent rug, so here, she's 95 and actively creating rugs. It's not like, she used to do this and is just talking about it. Her most recent rug that was completed in 2025 has Dorset buttons set into it. So there's so many things that, like you were saying, or like rug adjacent, like that can be considered. We will only have so much space and time, but we want all the ideas, and we'll filter through them. And also, though, in the meantime, the conference is the icing.
Yes.
But Mighty Networks and our 3 years together online, that's the cake.
Mighty Networks is the website that hosts everything that TIGHR does, including person-to-person chat.
Yeah, we want to. we want to be spending time with each other. It's not just about attending the conference, although the conference is going to be amazing.
It's going to be great, but there's got to be a lot of content there. You know, during the time between now and then, there's got to be a lot of content there for people who won't make it to the conference, can't make it to the conference, you know. So there has to be stuff there for you too, and it's unique content.
Yeah.
So we've been working on that like pigs, but I think we made a great deal with the Viking, and the details for that will come out. We'll start putting that out so people can decide where they want to start booking.
Because you guys are the first to know. We haven't posted anything online.
No, we have not had time yet.
Because we've just been saying fall of 2027, but the dates are now firm.
It made a lot of sense to do that because it is still more than mild in Newport.
Yeah.
That time of year around, you know, Halloween in Newport, it can still be hot. Yeah. It really depends on the year. You know how the weather is crazy lately. It really depends on the year. Even when I always go around Christmas too. It's always cold, but some years it's like not even that cold. So when we're talking about the fall, it's still going to be, it can be sweater weather, cardigan weather.
Which, this might sound silly, but so many of our rug events are in the summer.
Yeah.
And I've got some really cool fall outfits.
Yeah, everybody wants to wear sweaters, you know to this
I mean,
stuff.
with wool,
we want to show it off.
So hopefully, it'll be a little crisp because
I'm sure evenings will be crisp because it's immediately on the ocean. Yeah. It's right on the ocean. So it'll be a beautiful time. We're so excited, and it's such a relief to finally sign the contract.
Signed, yeah.
That was a bit of a stressy Bessie for a long time, right? We had to get it right. It had to be right. And of course, during the time that you and I started working on it, which was 2 springs ago, wasn't it? Not this past.
It was February of 24. It was when you were out at my place in Colorado. Was when we found out that we were going to be the next sport.
Because we immediately said no way.
But then within us saying yes, you were like, Newport. It's going to be in Newport. That was your idea.
Yeah.
And it is.
It can't. And we were saying yesterday when we were walking through Newport, we said like it couldn't have been anywhere else.
No, it's perfect because the town is an event in itself. So you could come and go to like 1 half-day class and hang out with friends and have just the most amazing time just for the town alone.
Yeah. It's so true. There's so many people around New England who are so used to making Newport part of a day trip, you know, or they stay overnight somewhere, if not in Newport, somewhere like maybe in Providence or somewhere else that is like a little bit on the outskirts or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you nail down like a class or two that you want to take. Hey, Colleen, great to see you.
We missed her. She wasn't with us yesterday, but we were thinking of her tons.
Yeah, we were. It was about 1,000,000 degrees though yesterday. I found it really hard. It wasn't hot. I'm sorry, I'm just complaining, but it was really hot.
So it's a good thing we're not having it in the summer.
Yeah, it's a very good thing we're not having it in the summer. I can't handle heat anymore. I'm like an animal. I'm so sweaty and gross, and my hands started to swell up, and my feet started to swell up. I'm like an ancient crone.
So Karen's asking if we got mud pie at the Chart House. We ended up at a place where when we first were recommended it was this pasta something. We were like, we're in Newport. We don't want pasta. It was so good. It was it's right down the road from the Viking, and I actually had salmon. It was delicious. And then because ice cream doesn't count even when you're full,
it doesn't count.
We walked down to the water and it was an ice cream place that's been in business since
1942 or something.
47 or something.
Yeah.
And
so good.
So good ice cream.
Oh my God. It was so good. They even had rum raisin. Nobody ever has that anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. I think we got hangry. Like we got a bit right on the edge.
Oh yeah, because we
sketchy.
wanted to still have time to look at the library and the art museum as auxiliary spaces, but they were having an event and closing early, and we were like, we must eat.
Yeah.
Because we've been walking the hotel for so long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were being big babies, but I mean, I don't think you can make a wrong choice in Newport for food. I mean, everything. Well, you had salmon, so everything has seafood.
Delicious.
But all of those old places, all of the first tavern in the country, the first library, the first synagogue, the first cemetery that features like an African American burial plot. There's so many firsts. Yeah, it's like a city of firsts.
Yeah. But it's not the first state. That's Delaware, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or possibly Lost Colony. Like there's always like but yeah, it's going to be a wonderful time. So please, let's see if anybody's saying any names. Please let us know. Not necessarily right now, but as time goes on, if you take a class or whatever, next week, next month, next year, and you think, God, that teacher really was a good teacher. Because we want teachers who, for me, right, I don't want to be like a helicopter control freak, but like for me, it's like we want teachers who not only do great work that we haven't seen before. I don't necessarily want to be looking at stuff that I saw, that's from 1997. I don't want that stuff. I want teachers who are doing interesting new work that's different, but who are also good teachers, because sometimes it's not the same thing, right? Was that bad that I said that?
No, because
it's if you enjoy a teacher and maybe you're thinking, oh, they might not have thought of that person, definitely let us know.
Yeah, because the hearing from a student is more than anything else.
Yes.
Because you've sat through their class, you're wanting to pass that on because you felt you really gained something from the class.
Absolutely.
So that
sometimes the most prolific people are the biggest names, and I'm not thinking of anybody in particular, but that's not necessarily the best teacher. Like, we want really good teachers. So be thinking about that, and send us lists when you think of it. And also for vendors, if you're thinking, oh, I love this person's stuff, but I never see it. I live in a place where we don't have any rug hooking supplies. Be thinking like, oh, I see this advertised, or I've seen people using this in their rugs. Can you get this person there? We can try.
Yeah, especially if they're even close by. That's great too, to highlight local people.
We want to, it would be great to hit local people, and also maybe people who, like we were saying, we'd love to have people who do sister arts too, like who do yarn or spinning, weaving, more sort of raw material stuff, not just wool and hooks and stuff like that. So we're looking for all kinds of ideas, and it's definitely the right time to hit us with them. So go ahead and hit us with ideas when something pops into your head. Let me just catch up over here. A mud pie is completely coffee ice cream.
So Karen has us going on a tangent of chocolate.
Well, it's going to be next time. Yeah. And Karen, in Rhode Island is it's the biggest little state in the Union, as we know, and they're a state filled with coffee drinkers. Like, they have a super dense concentration of Dunkin' Donuts, coffee shops in general, and they have a product that's called Autocrat. It's a coffee syrup, and it is like Hershey's chocolate syrup that you would put to make like chocolate milk. Autocrat coffee syrup in Rhode Island outsells chocolate syrup by more than 90% coffee syrup.
Try this.
Yeah. We should have got some while we were there. It's really specific to, it's like an old-timey taste. It's a very strong coffee flavor. It's syrup.
So it's like you put it on your ice cream?
You can put it on your ice cream. Yep, in place of like hot fudge or whatever. You can put it in your coffee. You can put it in your milk and stir it to make coffee milk. But having like a coffee cabinet, which is like a coffee shake, is still like the most popular kind of ice cream product that Rhode Islanders. So there's a massive emphasis. They are coffee drinkers, like, for sure. So so I'm not surprised about that heavy duty mud pie. That sounds also Dell's lemon stuff, and they made like this frozen lemonade that's insanely tart. It's the opposite of the coffee milk. It's like insanely tart, not sweet at all. Judy says, I just learned the other day that coffee syrup doesn't actually have caffeine, which is kind of cool.
Even better.
Yeah. It's a sweet, it's like a dessert.
So it's like a coffee flavor.
Yeah. It's
I like that.
flavors.
I'm trying not to do caffeine.
It's 1,000,000 calories, right? Because it's like syrup, but it doesn't have caffeine. So it's like the good news and the bad news. Lots of things to look forward to. Well, there's so many cute shops in Rhode Island. We didn't go to it this time, but the Only in Rhode Island store, remember, in Brick Market?
Oh, yeah.
And they have all Rhode Island products like Dell's lemonade that you can bring home, like, and put with your own ice or whatever. And all artisan stuff.
So many cute shops.
So many cute shops, and not a lot of chain stores. Like, it's a lot of like boutique-y stuff. Few chain stores, but there's a Christmas store that opened. Right? That was like a new Christmas store on the main street. It was so much fun. I think we really had a great time. So we will, as we evolve it, we will bring it to you. Karen, you struck very close with your idea. There will certainly be something with sort of a Halloween theme on that first night that we arrive. So do we want to tell them? So the first night we arrive, there will be an event that we plan to have in the chapel. Do you want to tell them about the next day, or is that too much detail?
Probably too much.
Okay, we'll hold it.
I'm still percolating.
It's percolating, but we've got some really great stuff. Like really kind of settled at this point. So we'll bring it out on the TIGHR website, but lots of things for you to look forward to. We're super looking forward to it. We got so excited yesterday, even though it's miles away, just talking about it and going through the rooms again. We got stupid excited.
It makes it real to envision it, and we were already thinking of just a million ideas.
Yeah, we were brainstorming, and then I get so impatient for it to be almost time, you know. And it's still a couple years away, so it gives you time to plan out, plan forward. And again, we will be we're both very, very busy in the next week to 2 weeks, right? But we are going to start sort of populating the TIGHR site with more detailed information about booking. Not teacher stuff yet, right? We're not. That's going to be a while, because it's so far out, right? That I mean, who wants to commit to something that far out at this point? But we are taking your ideas, so we hope that you hit us with some great ideas of teachers and vendors who you would love to see there, and give us some unusual names. Give us names of people maybe who go to your fiber festivals or something like that, and we haven't heard of them yet. Tell us about those people, because we might look at their site and say, oh God, that really is different. We would love to have that, you know. So we need help brainstorming. This is a huge undertaking, and we cannot do this on our own. The five of us cannot do this on our own.
And same thing with content on Mighty Networks. If you have an idea, if you have something, like there was all those wonderful jackets, and it's on my to-do list. There's
Backets.
The jackets.
The backets. The backets with the backs.
Yeah, the jackets that we had, the rug hook backs that became just this wonderful thing that happened at Niagara.
Yeah.
And there were stories behind all those jackets, and I think those stories should be told. Yeah. And one of the things is our theme is a rising tide lifts all boats. And another thing we've been talking about is we have tide lifters within our community, people who are out there, you know, the unsung hero that is furthering the craft of rug hooking, and we want to write articles about them or interview them.
Absolutely, we do.
Because that's the whole point, is community and learning about each other and inspiring each other.
Yeah.
So if you think,
if you know someone,
think
or if you are someone.
Yeah, that term, you know, do you know a tide lifter? Let us know.
Yeah, if you know, is that weird, tide lifter?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Right, boat.
I like it though. But you know, the people we're talking about who build community, and that is what they do. Those are the people who we want to talk to and interview and feature. So besides all the other content we're doing, we do want content that refers back to members. So always hit us with that stuff too. If you have some great ideas about people or someone who would be great to interview, or if you would like to interview someone, you can be in touch with us about like what sort of form that would take and how we can get that up on the main TIGHR site, which page it should go under. It's also there as a resource for those of you who are there. People can find each other and talk.
Right. And you can post your latest work.
Yeah. And you will get comments like anywhere else. So it is fun. It's not, you don't have to just wait for one of us to post something and say, oh, that's nice, thank you. You can post too, and you should, because the more interaction that happens on that platform, the busier the platform becomes, and the more it benefits everybody, right? It's just, it takes on a life of its own.
The more the rising tide lifts all boats.
That's it. So. Yeah, all of our boats are about to get lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded weird too. Yeah, that was right on the edge too.
So should we talk about
let's
I'm here?
Yeah, let's talk about why you're here.
So I'm here for two reasons. I mean, I come every year for the Northern McGowan Teachers Workshop.
Yeah.
But now with the TIGHR stuff, I'm coming a little earlier so we can do TIGHR work each year. But this year is a very special year for the Northern McGowan Teachers Workshop because it's our 75th year.
Jiminy Cricket.
75 years these women have been gathering and learning and training up new teachers, working on their own skill set, and every year they have a rug show, which is open to the public. It's in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, at the Public House, which is an establishment that has been in business before we were even a country, which is very cool, neat historic inn. So we have a wonderful rug show that's free and open to the public. It'll be on Wednesday, and because it's our 75th, and the symbol for McGowan is the rose, and every trainee, you have to do a rose. That is part of your training, is to make sure you can do a fine shaded, small cut, hooked rose. So our goal, and I have a feeling we will meet and exceed the goal, is that this rug show we want to have 75 or more roses in the show.
That sounds appropriate.
I brought my rose, so I did this as a trainee. In fact, it was my very first class.
Really?
As a trainee.
And were you supposed to do a monochromatic?
Yes.
Wow.
But I chose to do the green background because I loved working on shading using a grayscale, because you really focus on the values. But I was also fascinated by the sort of contemporary nature of a black and white rose, and I thought, that's unexpected. And so a background, which would usually be a neutral, I wanted to create my background to be the living element. So the background is green, which I associate that color with life and new grass, but the rose is black and white. So my teacher was Benita Raleigh-Watford, she's just an incredible teacher. And it wasn't my first, it was my second class there. They didn't want to freak you out. We did color theory the first day, and the second day we dove into the rose. And she was truly one of the most excellent teachers I've ever had, to break down something so technical in a way that worked for my brain.
Everybody says Benita is she is the teacher of the rose.
She's amazing. She's an excellent teacher. So this is what I will be contributing to the rug show. One of the pieces. I also have a show and tell, because McGowan it's somewhat of like a co-op. We're all coming together and teaching each other, and so we have people that are volunteering to teach each year, and then we'll have show and tells that go along with the themes. So it was my year to bring a show and tell, so I can't show it because I have to wait.
Can you tell us the theme? Also secret?
It's well, each day has a different theme, so mine is Jacobean Cruel piece, because the theme of our workshop this year is looking back and looking forward, since it's an anniversary year. So so mine's a Jacobean Cruel, which is really fun. So what we'll do is we can post a photo, or if you come to the show, you can do a follow-up.
I'm going to go to the show Wednesday. It is only Wednesday, right? I'm going to go to the show with Naomi on Wednesday.
It's from noon to 7 on Wednesday, and I'm quite pleased with that piece, and also the way I
can't wait to see it. Well, the suspense will end then, because we believe I can take photos or do something there, so I can share it with you here.
And then another thing that's going to be at the show, which is so I think I sometimes wonder how much are people humoring me, or
no, I mean these make me want to overturn this table and
so
just kick
now
the whole
I
didn't
make these sheep. These are fair trade sheep that I purchased, but I've created a little world for them. Now these sheep. So one of the pieces I'm very excited to debut at the McGowan Rug Show is a piece called Setting Up the Show. So the sheep have their own rug show.
I'm sorry, I thought we were saying sheepies.
Sheepies, yes. Well, on days when I want to feel more sophisticated,
I see.
On but they are my sheepies. But they're named. So this is B, and we can also talk about Magpie, because B is involved with Magpie.
Yep.
This is.
Oh, let me get my phone. I'll show the cover. Where's the phone gone?
This is Alice. I can talk sheepies while you.
Okay.
So. And Deanna can post photos later, but I have created a rug show that the sheep are setting up. So I don't know if this will focus, but this, so we can have, here's all the actual details. 75th annual rug show. So, they have their own little sign. And the sheep have been hard at work creating rugs for the rug show. So.
See, that makes me crazy. Just looking at that makes me crazy.
I'm sorry it's not in focus. But
we can make it in focus.
But what's really neat, and both my show and tell and the vast majority of the rugs in the sheep rug show, there's a rug hooker named Ruth who has passed away. She was a McGowan teacher, and her grandson donated all of her meticulously cataloged and recorded worms, all her leftovers. And this rug is made with Ruth's leftovers. So a McGowan teacher that's no longer with us, now we've got miniature sheep making rugs with my help. And then here's another one. So, but I have some punch needle rugs. I have hooked rugs. I just had the best time. This has been it's been a somewhat chaotic summer with some health issues in my extended family, and I'm sitting next to a hospital bed hooking miniature rugs for sheep, and it gets you through the day.
Absolutely, there's a lot to be said for that.
So
crazy scenario, but yeah.
Oh, and then because it's so fun to have detail. So one of the neat things we do at McGowan's, we have our name tags, and they have a silhouette of a sheep. There's a little white sheep, and we have 4 colors: blue, red, yellow, and green. And each day, the 4 days of workshop, blue, if you have a blue name tag, you get to go up first to pick the class you're going to take, and then the next day the reds go. So we all have.
It's like a lottery.
Well, it just gives it a sort of makes it more fair so that everyone doesn't get always rush for the same class. So I created the miniature name tags just like the name tags we wear at Northern McGowan.
Is that what she's wearing? Yeah. Oh my God!
So,
look at that. Alice has got a name tag on.
And then I even have, as part of the piece, a magnifying glass so people can look closer at the little details. Because I have little tiny Pearl McGowan books and the sign-in
with the little
sheets.
Covers and everything on there. Yeah. Oh my God!
So I've had a really good time working on that.
Yeah, this is, and so here, let me come back here. These are absolutely precious.
And I see Judy has a question. Do I hook them on an embroidery frame? No, I used a regular rug hooking frame. So the scale, if I'm not a real stickler to scale because these would be like primitive rugs for them, or really wide hooked rugs for them.
What sizes? Oh, sorry.
They're three cuts.
Oh, 3 cut. Okay. It's really small.
So
this little one too.
Yeah, those are all 3 cuts.
Oh my God, they are so cute. So, so you did the cover for the next Magpie Times. It's the autumn issue. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw it, but I already put it up in our Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club. It is still, right, the deadline remains August 1st. I'm not finished with my stuff. Maybe you're not finished with your stuff. You still have time, but the cover is there. We're putting it out. We're assimilating some of the features, and I'll make sure that this comes into focus more or less, but the cover looks like this, and this is Rebecca's cover. So this is like, I was so happy that you did this, Rebecca. This is also the autumn issue. So it has a quilt theme, but also an autumn theme, and you can see how cute this is. Like this is just crazy. Wait, this world you've got going on is just absolutely adorable. So this is what the fall cover looks like. And there is still time, of course. There is still time to get in your stuff that is themed, either quilt themed or autumn themed. Either one is fine. We need stuff for the gallery. If you have a feature that I don't know about, you could put it in, because as I've said, I published this magazine with Judy, right? This is not traditional publishing. If it goes a little bit larger than it has in the past, that's okay. We're still going to print it. Mm-hmm. So whatever you have that we're waiting for, get it in. But, try to get it in by August 1st so we can get this issue out on time. I love the cover. The cover is absolutely fantastic.
And there's a story to go with it.
Mm-hmm. I love that part.
So there's a story about Bee and her friend Theodore.
Yeah. Instead of like a how I hooked this.
Yeah.
You wrote a creative prose story.
But there will be educational opportunities with the sheep in 2026 at some major rug hooking.
You don't want to say it?
Events, no, because it hasn't been published.
I see. Okay. Well, people can look forward to, if you do the rounds of events, thinking about that as that evolves. But it is the first cover we've done for Magpie that is not a rug, that is not like a two-dimensional thing.
Right. Yeah, because the back panel, that's all punched.
Yep.
But it is a diorama that you're looking at.
Yeah. No, it's just such a precious storytelling piece. I just love it. Can't get enough of them. Yeah. So, I will certainly be there on. I can see a book coming. Suze, I said
that's
the
what
same
she keeps saying.
Yeah. Same thing.
You're like the master of the books. My book took years off my life. I've published one book, but maybe I'm destined to just put out small stories. I would love to just share the sheep live too. Like to me, I mean, humans have always liked miniature things, and it isn't something just for children. There's something technical about figuring out how to shrink things down. There's something charming and whimsical about small things. And so creating this little woolly world for them, I have a feeling I'm not the only one. And I'm not creating them as a toy. I mean, these are the little sheep, these are little fair trade sheep that are made in India. They're wool. They can be, they're not marketed as a toy, but, a child could play with it.
Yeah.
But I look at it as creating three-dimensional whimsical art. It makes me smile. I look at it and I've created different seasons and doing the rug show for them. I want to create a sort of not a replica, but like a little wool studio.
Oh my God.
I have a tiny little punch needle, and I haven't made it yet, but I wanted to sell tiny hooks for them.
Yes, you need to do that. You know, it's a kind of escapism too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and just
creating a world for them.
And trying to figure out how, like when I made the little clipboard for the sheep to check in the rugs at the rug show.
That must have been hard.
Well, but it was a fun puzzle. So I'm looking through sort of the family craft closet, and I see one of my children's art drawing pads, you know, and they have these really thick cardboard backs to the drawing books. And so I thought, that's perfect. That looks like, you know, the sort of the brown of a clipboard. So I cut that out. And then in there, holding a bunch of beads in the craft cupboard, was this silver box, like a silver paper box. And so I cut out part of that to create the clip for the clipboard. And just that, and it's probably just my age, like my brain needs these little mental exercises of how could I create a clipboard. I mean, in this day and age, you can get on Google and you could probably find a dollhouse scale clipboard, and I could have just ordered one. But it's so much fun.
It's a challenge.
Yeah,
too.
it's sort of the thrill of the hunt or the thrill of the creation.
Yeah.
And then making little tiny pencils. I did those with toothpicks.
Oh my God.
And that took some trial and error. But then it's fun too because my daughter walks through and she's watching me like trying to sand toothpicks, and she asked, she goes, that's the actual color of a pencil. How'd you get that? And it was just a Sharpie marker that happened to work. But I was saying, I need to find something for the eraser. And she's, you know, I think we have a craft paint. You know, there's those cheap little craft paints that we've been, you know, all the little projects.
Oh, yeah, little dollar paints.
And there was one that was exact eraser color, and I dipped it in so it has a little bit of texture to it.
Yeah.
And boom, I got an eraser. And I was pretty
This is so gratifying to make these things work, right?
So it's silly in a way, but then it's fun.
No, it's not, because you've always loved dollhouses and the American Doll stuff with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, you just love the miniature world.
And I find it soothing and calming.
Yeah. So. I totally get that. It's so tidy. Like, it's a tidy world.
Yeah. Maybe it's a control thing. I create my universe.
Well, you can, you know, and it feels good to be able to control it because life isn't always under control. So it's good to be able to control what's going on with the sheepies.
They're cute.
Yeah, they are absolutely adorable.
Yeah, Beatrice goes by B. Alice. Lucy was the one who started. She's still downstairs. And then we have Lawrence. I think there'll be more sheep that will join the family. Or friends.
I think so. Are you gonna dip any of them and make any of them crazy colors?
I hadn't thought about that. But they also, the company that makes the sheep, they also have foxes, and my daughter wants to get foxes, and she wants to do more of a needle felted burrow, very more organic. Where these guys, you know, have like a kitchen sink and stuff. Where she wants to go full on like
earthy.
Yeah. So it's fun to watch her, you know, her take on it.
That is like, she's taking it to the next level. But I mean, the world that you have created for them, I think, is adorable and perfect. And you just keep giving them new seasons, new places, new furniture, new hobbies.
And then little things in the very beginning, when I've got the first sheep, in my bedside table, I found one of my grandmother's handkerchiefs.
Oh.
And I took a box, and I laid the sheep on the box and put the handkerchief as her blanket. And
was it the punch needle box?
Yeah, the punch needle box is the bed. But just, you know, that kind of thing, just, you know, we don't really use hankies anymore. So I have all my grandmother's handkerchiefs, and I was like, well, that makes a nice little sheet, or, you know, just finding those little things and repurposing them. It's been a neat adventure.
So funny that you said that, because so tomorrow I give my sermon at the church. So make sure you remember, because it's listed as a link if you want to hear a sermon about rug hooking tomorrow morning.
Sorry. I was just thinking I could break out the Sharpies.
Make a teenager sheep with crazy colored hair.
Yeah,
that would be so funny. Well, I was recording some videos at the church for some of the ladies, remember, who are like, they have an art show up, and so I recorded 10 videos this past week to celebrate the show that they have hanging right now. And I was chatting with one of the ladies afterward, and she said, "Are you looking forward to giving the service? You know, now it's tomorrow." And I said, yeah, I'm just afraid I'm going to like choke myself up and be emotional because, you know, so when I used to be like a cabaret singer and stuff, and then I went to theater school, but those are all situations where you're reading someone else's work. You know, it's a script and it's someone else's words, but when it's your own words, it hits a little bit closer. I'm not really sure I've got it. You know what I mean? I'm not. And so she said, well, just make sure you grab a pretty hanky. And I said, ooh, grab a pretty hanky. Is that the name of a country song? Because if it's not, it should be. That would be an excellent name for a country song. Everybody needs a pretty hanky.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you're going to use it for something. It might be crying in church.
Yeah.
It might be a bed for a sheep.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Both things work, obviously, very, very well. Let's catch up. Miniature world displayed. It does bring great joy. And it's something like it's a work in progress, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it's sort of endless. I can take it in all sorts of directions.
Yeah, like when you did the cover for this, I said like, oh, it's the autumn issue, and you immediately were like, ooh, like autumn colors.
Well, and when you said barn quilts, and then I live in Colorado, and I live in a town called Longmont, which most people have not heard of, but I'm just north of Boulder, which a lot of people have heard of. And in Boulder, we have this store called Art Parts, and it is a nonprofit where people donate art supplies or anything that could possibly be an art supply. And so I love going down there. And so I knew, I knew barn quilts were the theme, and so I did the little quilt over the fireplace, and then there's a quilt sort of patterned rug, and then I go into the art parts just for fun, and there's this tiny little quilt top, and I mean it was like
it must have been for a dollhouse or something.
And what was crazy, it was in the exact colors. It had the teals and the gold. And so I went home and I sewed a backing on it, and that's the little bedspread on
the cover.
On the bed.
Is it the one on the cover?
Yeah. And
that's
I just
crazy. My God.
And so I don't know who made that charming little thing.
I'll show you.
I sewed a piece of flannel to the back and made a little quilt. And
that is so funny. That's like when it's meant to be, it's meant
to be.
the
perfect colors. I had already created the punch background and the other stuff, and it was exact colors.
It's hard to see. It's on my phone, but it's like a sage green and white checkered quilt here that really goes with the sage green curtains.
Yeah.
God, that was a lucky find, huh?
Yeah. And so when you delve into the world of miniatures, then everywhere you go, there's not a cap that I'm not thinking, ooh, could I somehow wrap that in twine and it becomes a basket, or that yogurt cup. You just, in fact, we now have a bin on the counter that I make the kids put anything that they might recycle. I want to look at it first in case I could turn it into something later. That's
like a parallel universe that you're living in.
Yeah.
I mean, your brain is just thinking of all of this different stuff. And what a good use of brain space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like so positive looking like at stuff and like regarding every little thing like, ooh, this might be like a kitchen sink or a basket or the bottom of a shoe, and that's just such an alternate universe way of thinking. And it's so creative too.
I could spend 2 hours scrolling on Facebook, or I could spend the evening with tiny wooden beads and some crewel yarn and meticulously wrapping it around to create little wool balls.
Yeah,
it was a fabulous evening.
Yeah, that's so much better than doom scrolling.
Yeah. But you know how many sites there are for miniatures out there. So now I found all the miniature sites and the ideas, and I'm like, oh, I need to save every egg carton now. I need to save.
Oh, I see. They tell you like ideas for.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's meticulously crafted and handmade, but then there's a lot of stuff out there. What I really gravitate towards is what can we make? Like you can find a tiny little clipboard, but I wanted to make the clipboard. And I mean not everything like this. So I found this when my son and I were just in Japan.
What's the stand?
And the Japanese love miniature things.
Okay.
And so this, they have a common store like our dollar store. They call it Daiso.
Okay.
And they have a lot of miniature stuff, little like dollhouse stuff. And so this, and little tiny folding chairs, like you'd see like industrial kind of folding chairs.
Okay.
So the sheep are sitting in the little folding
so
chairs
they just
at the rug show.
Vignettes or something?
Yeah, just little like, and so like this is plastic. But and then I put in the information about McGowan. Yeah. And so you
shrank that down. It fits in there perfect.
So not everything is handmade. Yeah. Because this was great and inexpensive.
You must have been excited when you found that.
And also like I found it in Tokyo. How cool is that? So now I'm looking at that. I'm remembering the time with my son. So
it's great to find a new hobby where like you can buy little treasures and stuff for the hobby, but it's not like you're not collecting cars.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're just looking for cute, inexpensive stuff, and then when you find something, it's like it satisfies the need, right? To like buy something.
Yeah. So I see in the comments, I stumbled across a TV program on YouTube. I think it's Canadian, called Best in Miniature. Ooh, I'll have to look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was like you know, the sort of the reality TV shows where they're having competitions. There is a miniature.
Oh.
Like where they're creating like dollhouse stuff and.
See, that is so creative. Like aside, like fiber, everything aside, that's so creative.
There's it's very technical.
Yeah.
And so, but you know, in my rug hooking, like that rose is probably the most realistic thing I've ever done. I don't strive for realism. To me, that I feel like that's what the camera is for.
Yeah.
So I like it to not be realistic.
Yeah.
So using found objects and making things. So it's a nod to, you know, the item.
Yeah, and it's like it fits your personality too, because you love to hunt for treasures and stuff. You love to shop and check things out. So that fits in perfectly. This is when you started doing this, you were so excited, and you're still excited about it.
Yeah, and how it was just sort of laying dormant. So when we were looking at the Viking last summer, and we were in Newport just scouting everything out, just down from the Viking, there's this tiny little shop. It was closed yesterday when we were there.
Permanently.
But no, I don't. Was it permanent? I thought they were just shut for the day.
Oh, really? I hope so.
All kinds of miniatures were in there. And remember, I dragged you in, and I was so, you know, and you know, then a year later, I'm creating my own little mini world.
I know. You dragged me in there, and I was like, okay, I'll get you. It's like I have you on the leash. Like, okay, go ahead, check out all the miniatures. And I ended up buying a bunch
I didn't buy anything. You
I
bought stuff.
I bought a bunch of crap. I bought like all these tiny foods that were this big and a tiny butcher block table. Like, what is my plan for that, you know?
The sheep are going to come and see your stuff.
They're going to come and have like a Jell-O mold. And a tray of Christmas cookies. But yeah, that was super cute. And maybe that was foreshadowing, you know, to this, right? Because everything comes from somewhere, you know? And that super appealed to you, and then it wasn't long after that these sheepies evolved. So this is going to be at the McGowan thing this week.
Yes, so you'll see lots of roses at the show, and hopefully you're going to come to the show, maybe take some pictures.
Yeah, I will.
And then my sheep diorama thing will be there, and my show and tell, and lots of wonderful pieces.
And what else can we expect to see at the show?
Oh, you see the range. So, you know, there's always trainees that are coming up through the McGowan program. And there are certain things. They do the rose, they'll do a scroll. There's a piece called Stephanie's Garden. There's one called Grandmother's Rug. And what's neat is to see the different versions of this year after year, and especially because we've all done the same rug. I mean, it has changed over the 75 years. But it's fun to see the next group of people, their interpretation of those patterns. But then there's a lot of unique work. One of the neatest pieces last year was this tree that was all Dorset buttons.
Oh, okay.
On the top part of it. So you see all kinds of stuff. You see three-dimensional pieces. Liz Marino's piece, that doll she did, it was that 1940s doll, and she created little hooked outfits that could Velcro on it.
Oh, I remember.
It was in the doll box.
I remember.
So that
was cool.
Yeah, so that was there. Cindy Irwin did this amazing gown, this beaded gown piece
that
with
was
shoes.
crazy.
So you see classics, you see original work, and you'll see old patterns completely reinterpreted in a new way.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say?
And then there's a featured artist.
Yes.
So, and it's Tracy Jamar.
Okay.
And her work is so interesting and right up my alley with it being three-dimensional. I love three-dimensional things. So Tracy will be there. Last year we had Chris McDermott with the braided rugs.
Oh my God.
That was really special.
Also great.
So each year there's a special artist that is not at all connected with McGowan. So it's a great show.
Great variety. So Karen said, as far as the dollhouse, you said there's a tremendous amount of things you can 3D print as well.
Oh, yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
If only for like bases, you know, skeletons.
Well, or even like molds.
Yes.
That I could, And my son is going off to college, and what sold him on the school, he's going to CU Boulder. We were touring around the engineering department, and they walked him over, and there's this entire wall of 3D printers, and they said the engineering students get unlimited filament as part of their tuition. You could just see, he was like,
what a weird enticement.
Yeah. He's like, and he even said, he goes, I have found my people. And I'm like, yes, you have. So he starts there in a little over a month, and I expect him to be 3D printing something.
Oh yeah, oh that'll be so much fun. Yeah, my kids 3D print stuff at home, and it's like they 3D printed things to hold the coffee Keurig pots and stuff. You know what I mean? Like with all the holes in them, and they've done some printing some of the geocaching stuff, like containers to hold like the stuff that you bury or whatever. It's amazing what is available as a template. Because it was so unappealing to me, the idea of 3D printing, because it's like, oh, plastic, and more plastic. But some of the filaments are crazy and like matte or shiny or transparent or holographic. It's crazy.
I'm seeing some comments. I'll go from the bottom. I have seen those rooms at the Art Institute. Love them. Yeah. I've been into this since I was a child. Never really like doing my own stuff, but I remember
heard about that
visiting
museum.
those rooms. And I was wondering who on the comments. It's Atha Ruggs, and so that's Kay. That's Kay from Oregon, and she says she went to her first McGowan a few weeks ago, which was Western. So impressed with the caliber of the rug hookers that she got to hang out with the cool kids. Yeah. Well, and I'm sure you had a rug show, because every workshop has a rug show, and it's really fabulous when you think about it. 75 years.
That's a long time. I mean, that is the history of the craft.
That is really neat that women and men, there's men in the group, have been gathering all this time. Yeah. And it's changed. It's changed quite a bit. Yeah. But we're still showing up, and that's
then like the thing. Yeah. You know, the showing up,
and just going back to the TIGHR stuff, the community that I'm creating little miniature rugs from a McGowan rug hooker who's no longer with us, and so then I think what will I leave behind for this next
legacy.
We'll fast forward and there'll be the 100th. I should still be around in 25 years. Will I? Yes, I will.
Are you serious? Oh my God, of course you will.
The 100th rug show, and
be there for it,
but
waving roses,
thinking about someday that I am not as organized as Ruth was, but that my leftover wool or worms from another project, that some rug hooker in the future will be using them, for a project. It's really neat to think about the really like beyond global, but beyond our lifetime of the tradition of rug hooking.
It is. I mean, not everybody finds a craft that they love where there is the possibility of legacy or making heirloom things. I mean, it's like there's nothing wrong with anything, obviously, but if you fish and you catch a big fish and you eat it for dinner, that's kind of the end of that story. We're very lucky, I think, that we do something, and it's like there's two sides to it, because you hear people say, oh, I've made so many rugs at this point, my kids don't want them. Right, like what am I going to do with them?
I was thinking about that, and people say, oh, I hope my rugs don't end up at a thrift store someday, and then I'm thinking, did Ruth think that her leftovers would actually become rugs someday when she wasn't even with us anymore? I mean, that's like goosebumps.
It is, and it just is a testament to the thrift quality of this, the heritage of this craft being so thrifty, that we are such magpies. We gobble it up.
Oh, I wasn't going to
leave it. We gobble it.
I mean, where I am in Colorado, hooking with fine cut isn't as common. There are some fine cut hookers, but not that many. And so when there was literal trash bag, like kitchen sized trash bags, 3 of them, full of 3-cut worms, all like in their values and organized, and nobody wanted them. They were going to throw them out. And I was like, no way. And there was one other woman that took some of them. But I took them home and I organized them, and I've now created 2 full pieces with them, and then the mini rug stuff. So
it's so great to find that stuff. I mean, once in a while I find the 3-cut stuff, right? And I can't really use it. I sometimes double it up and use it.
I do that too.
Yeah, but like a lot of that wool was cut from the swatch sets.
Yeah,
and those were moth proof. Like,
I was going to say,
moth proof.
It is the best wool I've ever hooked with.
You're not going to find moths in it, no matter how old or what kind of garbage bag it was in.
And I feel like it almost spoils me, because we don't have that quality of wool anymore.
No.
I mean, it held the dye so perfectly, and it it's such a fine cut, but it's hooking beautifully and not shredding. Oh, love it.
No, I know it's different. Those swatches are more like a braiding wool weight. Like they're a little bit thinner. So it really depends on what cut you like, because if you like primitive, that you wouldn't go for that anyway. But you could go for 2 together and just hooking 2 together just for speed and, you know.
Yeah, well, and Kay was saying that she has some 3-cut worms, wondering what to do with them. I also really like to do them with sculptural things. So I'll grab a couple of them and hook them really high, and then I'll cut them.
Yeah.
So
that's a great idea.
You know, it's not all about creating some intricate, finely shaded rose. It can be completely contemporary sculptural piece.
Yeah, you can hook them really dense because they're so small. Yeah. But you do a lot with chain stitching, like hooking, you know, with the chain stitch on top. Like they make a great little outline, you know, because they're so thin. They're like a tiny little outline. There's so many things you can do with them, but not throwing them out obviously is the thing, because I know it's easy to think, oh, I got enough stuff, but you can use them for I think 3-dimensional stuff is a great idea, because you can hook those super packed and then clip them, and then you can sculpt them and everything like Waldeboro stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be super fun. Let's see. This is just so you know, Diane. And yes, it was a lot of focus on rug hooking.
Oh, and then I saw there was something. Oh, a little further up when we were talking about the rising tide. One of the comments was really good about what we could call it. Is it boat lift? We got to scroll up.
Oh, yeah. Let me scroll up. All right, let's see. Oh, Kirsten. Hey, Dave. Hey, I'm sorry I didn't say hi. Great to see you both. Still up? Oh, the people who float your boat. In other words.
Float your boat. You know, that's the expression that really floats my boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they could.
That's really funny. You float my boat. We have to play with that.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Here, let me come back down here. So we talked about the McGowan week that you have coming up, and that is a heavy-duty week.
We've got Magpie final submissions due by August 1st.
It's coming up fast and furious.
And then we've got our TIGHR dates from October 31st to November 4th of 2027.
Yeah.
So put that on your we signed sealed. So put that on your calendar.
Yeah. Something to look forward to. Karen said, I tend to hook with 3 cuts. Actually looking forward to my next project where I'll be hooking in a larger cut. It's good to mix it up, isn't it? I mean, it's really good to try different things. It's good for your brain too, right? It keeps you engaged, and
I'll do that where I'll have a piece filled with all different techniques and cut sizes and stuff, and then the next thing it's just all one thing. You know, I just want to rest my brain a bit.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, for me, the pendulum just keeps swinging. You know, I want one project that's completely different from the next. That project that I've got over there on the couch is a quilt related project, and it is I don't know if it's worth bringing over. It's probably not, because I haven't hooked a lot. No, I haven't hooked a lot of it yet. I'll have to show you later. For those of you that have been following this sort of quilt series within that I've been doing some painted backgrounds on some stuff. This one I didn't paint for myself, but it's the quilt block called Birds in Air, if you can picture that, if you're a quilter. And it's like actually on the side of a little barn, and it's got crazy sky and stuff. Very simple. But for those of you who are pre-ordering the Magpie Times magazine for autumn with Rebecca's cover, that you get that free pattern. If you're ordering it from me, you get the free pattern, and you can start working on it before the magazine even comes out. So I'm working on it now. You can work on it with me. You can be posting that all over the place, and we can see how we all are doing with it, because I'm doing it in really weird colors, and I'd be curious to see what other colors people do it in. But it's going to be one of many free patterns in Magpie Times. There always is. But the ones that are coming up this time are not necessarily quilt patterns. They're still sort of rug hooking or needlework, needle arts patterns, but many of them do involve a quilt motif, right, as you would expect with this particular issue. I'm trying to think of what other things we have going on. I know I'm going to want an early night because of the sermon tomorrow. We just went over because my rug fell. You didn't do this thing. My mom and I did this with the custodian there, Kevin. We hung up my big secret garden rug on the lectern because it looked awesome, and it fell down. It was gorilla taped up with like balls of gorilla tape. And Kevin called all nervous, right, Mom? And he was like, "Oh, I've got some bad news for you." But no, it didn't stay. But we just went over and figured out how to get it up there with those, what are those, bungee things? Yeah. So it is up there right now. I hope it's up there tomorrow morning when we go and do that. Yes. I know you're coming to that. That's at 10:30 tomorrow morning. in Hartford, Connecticut, 50 Bloomfield Ave, the Unitarian Society of Hartford. Probably the first ever, I'm just venturing, sermon on rug hooking. It's not an everyday.
Watch it on Vimeo.
And you can watch it on Vimeo. So
will it be live or how
yep, it's live. Okay. It's live. So if you're in our Facebook group, I should probably post a link to it also in this video. I don't think I've done that yet. I'll do that after the show. You can watch it live. So 10:30 a.m. It is the full service. I am doing the sermon, but I also chose a couple of songs that are really fun that have to do with hands and weaving and fiber. And a couple of poems that you will love that have, one of them is called The Hook Drug and the other one is called Mending. So you see a theme here. So it should be a beautiful service, probably about an hour. Usually it's about an hour, but heavy rug hooking talk tomorrow morning. So I'm going to get to bed early, so I'm ready for that.
Me too.
And did we hit on anything else that needs doing? So I will post that link later. So if you log on tomorrow to watch that live, you'll see the service will start at 10:30. Everything happens in order, right? And if you are watching live, you will have the option, just like you do here, of entering the chat room, and it's the same setup. So people will be saying like, "Oh, I really love that poem. Who is that by again?" People are chatting in the side the same way that you are here tonight when we record our video. So it's the same deal. And the recorded version obviously is recorded, so there aren't people interacting live. You are very welcome to come as well, because we will be there. Rebecca will be there. I think there'll be some other rug hooking buddies there. And we always have coffee afterward and have a nice talk. And it's just...
Will there be donuts?
No, there's not. There may be donuts. Do you think there's donuts tomorrow, Mom? It's not a soup Sunday or food or anything, is it, tomorrow?
Oh, they often have, they always
Yeah,
have
they often have sweets and stuff.
They might have some light stuff.
Yeah, I never get to it because I'm always talking, and by the time I get there, that stuff is gone. Be smarter and better than me. You might get a snacky at the same time. So, did we cover everything for tonight?
I think we did. It's bedtime now.
I think it's bedtime. So I will go over to the McGowan show on Wednesday with Naomi from Ravensgate, and we'll capture as much as we can without being pigs or getting in trouble. But I would love to take some photos to show you what's going on there, because after that show closes, does it go somewhere?
Nope, it's just a show that happens for one day, once a year.
So it would be great to see it. It would be great for you to see it, right? If you're watching from Gale, Australia, or wherever, they're not going to see it.
This might be the first time there's going to be 75 hooked roses all in one show. I mean, and they won't all be the same pattern, so that'll be interesting to see.
I think that's amazing. I think it's such a beautiful tribute to the history of McGowan, to all of these years of, as you say, community working together, supporting each other, learning from each other. It's a beautiful idea to celebrate the symbol of the McGowans, which is the rose. So 75 roses or more, hopefully.
And sheep.
Sounds great.
Little sheeps.
And the sheepies. And the sheepies. Yeah, we are not going to miss those. People are going to be brains. You're going to have other people looking at everything that they touch and going like, oh man, before I throw this away, what can I use this for? It probably turns into a disease once you get started with that, right? Oh man, well hey, you know what? We're gonna Coffee Time Monday. Good one, Karen. So let's see. Maybe
that's when you do I don't know if you'll be able to do live stuff on Wednesday. You could just be, coffee time could be all about the show.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about it, because I don't mind logging on for coffee time. It's just if I got to get content ready, which usually takes hours. Because I have to, we're talking. Because of you, I don't have to load slides and stuff, but if I do, it's hours. So I'll think about how much time I have tomorrow, because after service, we're going over to Sturbridge. I'm going to drop you at Sturbridge.
I got to get dropped off for my McGowan week.
Yeah, so I might not be back until quite a bit later. We'll have to see how it goes. Thank you for reminding me, though. Let me think about...
Oh, you're right. What was I saying? Of course you can't on Coffee Time Monday. The show isn't until Wednesday.
Yeah, but if I did...
The following Monday.
If I did Coffee Time on Wednesday, I could do it, but I don't expect to do a live show, because it's going to be busy in there.
Yeah.
So I might do a show. I'll try to do something. I logged on last Monday because I didn't have content. Same thing with we just officially sold our house the night you came. Right, that night we everything got signed. So this has been an awful, nail biting, horrific, busy, crazy, frenetic time. But one of those days I wanted to run Coffee Time and I didn't have any content.
Well, look, Judy just mentioned that. Look.
Just sitting. Oh, that is so sweet. We sat together and I just started hooking something for Magpie, We stayed on, I think, 3.5 hours. Like, that was crazy. I could always return to that because I didn't finish that project. Let's do it to be continued, and I will definitely let you know later tomorrow. My next thing in my mind is like a speed bump. It's the sermon because it's like so stressful getting it together. But as soon as that's done, probably when I'm driving home from Sturbridge, I'll be able to think about if there's a great idea. I wonder if any magazines or anything came. That's always an easy peasy. But I will shoot to be with you on Monday, and let's see what I can think of. If you have an idea, let me know. But in the meantime, Rebecca, it was awesome to see you as always. It's wonderful to be together. This is our great happy opportunity every year when she comes to hang out together and do a casual show like this, brainstorm all of these projects, and big news this time. So thank you for joining us. Thanks, Dave. I hope so. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't plan to ball or anything, and I don't have a pretty hanky. So Spring Magpie. Okay, so here's one more thing before we leave. 4 themes for future magpies, right? So this magpie you can pre-order. It's at Ribbon Candy Hooking. It's in Facebook if you want to click the link, and if you're getting it from me, you're going to get that pattern sent to you. We can work on it at the same time. Super fun. So for after that, remember how my theme for the winter magpie in my head was kitchen spice. And now I'm second guessing myself.
Kitchen spice, like cookies?
Yeah. But I don't know how far that'll get us. I mean, I thought kitchen spice because I thought so much of the holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, happens in the kitchen.
Right.
And I thought obviously also it's a seasonal, right? So it's like winter. It's everything winter. It's every winter holiday. Plus like the actual theme. I was thinking, I loved kitchen spice because I was also thinking there's never any kitchen rugs. Like you hardly ever see rugs that would be suitable for the kitchen. I thought maybe we can come up with some that have like coffee cups or teapots or something like that. Cookies, of course. I don't know. But
well, it is a time of year where we do a lot of eating. So food rugs.
Food rugs. I was thinking recipes. People might send in a lot of recipes too. Because I don't want to give it like a specific holiday theme and be insensitive. So I was thinking kitchen spice, but then I started thinking like fuzzy mittens.
Or cozy. Like something cozy. Cozy drinks, cozy mittens. I don't know.
Interesting. We don't have to decide yet, right? We don't have to decide until we're into August. But let me know what you think. I am second guessing kitchen spice just because I'm having trouble thinking of designs that I would put into it as free patterns. But I'm not ready to give up on it yet. Let me know what you think. And I'm willing to take some ideas, right? I don't need to be a tyrant. If you have a great idea for a winter issue.
Table runners. Yeah, that goes.
Table runners.
All things food. And you think about entertaining.
That could still
happens.
be under kitchen spice.
Yeah,
table runners would be an amazing
that
feature.
Time of year we do from fall or from in America, we have our Halloween, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
It's an avalanche of holidays.
Winter solstice, Christmas. Lots of
shortest day.
Lots of entertaining. Lots of times where you set a table with
a different design
with different dishes.
Who said that?
It was
family gathering, table runners, Judy. That is really smart.
Gold star for Judy.
Gold star.
Yeah.
Fireside chats.
Fireplaces. Except for our friends in Australia who will be wearing their...
That's true. It'll be the height of summer for you.
Sundresses while we're thinking about
I like that
fires.
fireside, like around the hearth.
That cozy, that goes back to the
cozy.
But that is a time of entertaining, no matter what part of the world. There's a lot of entertaining that happens in November, December.
Like that. I like the hearth. Fireside chat reminds me of Roosevelt a little bit, but I like fireside, and I like the idea of storytelling at the fireside.
The local yarn shop and where I live in Colorado, they have something called fiberside chats. And they have different speakers come for the fiber arts. So you could, which I don't think is like a copyrighted term.
Yeah.
So like,
no, it's good. I was just thinking the same thing.
A fiberside issue.
I mean, these are all winter themes.
Yeah.
All of them can go into the same magazine for sure, right? That's interesting. That's going to be hard.
Well, sometimes I think a looser theme, because like I'll look at the ATHA magazines and they have the themes, and which is great. You don't have to submit something that's just to their theme, but you know, I want to, and I think, well, I don't have any sports rugs, or I don't have when a theme is.
It was amazing how many sports rugs went into that issue. That was a really good issue, but I know what you mean. Yeah. I didn't have any sports rugs.
It probably says something about my life that there are no sports rugs.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's themed different. And of course, there's so many people who give gifts to like their kids and their grandkids, and then they're doing things that are not natural subjects for them.
That's true.
You know, and we have more in common with the hooker.
You're right.
But yeah, a lot of gift-giving hookers bring us to some different places with themes. I really like this. I love the idea of gathering around the hearth. The table runners is an absolute must. Designs, patterns for table runners, that is an absolute must.
Now they're used for your fine cuts because you hook them low, which would make a good table runner.
And some of the table runners for people who have mantles, right? You can also drape them over the mantle.
Do they call them mantle scarves or
mantle scarves? Yeah.
Ooh, fiber-side mats. With the Caswell carpet. Yeah. You know that one section that can be removed because it's in front of the hearth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot around the hearth that has to do. There's the
you just said it, around the hearth.
Around the hearth. Well,
I think that might be it.
Well, we have gathering around the hearth. That was crescent moon. But like you know those needle pointed screens to keep the makeup from melting or whatever during Victorian times. Yeah. There's so many different fiber arts.
The wax face
around the hearth.
I like that. I like around the hearth.
Yeah.
Oh, I like around the hearth. We could have a section called Kitchen Spice. I do like around the hearth though, because I think it's a more general theme, isn't it?
And when you sit down in front of the fireplace, you're sitting down with you know, a mulled wine, a spiced cider. You know, the spices can still come into that.
Definitely come into that.
The fireplace is often a gathering.
Still keeping the kitchen spice in place.
It's a gathering point where we would have spice as well.
I think that's a great idea. A little bit broader. Table runners too. I'm not writing them down because I'm not going to forget them. These are really good ideas.
These are fun ideas.
And what about spring? I want to log off because I'm exhausted. But what about spring? Karen said, "What do you think about spring?" So the first time we did historic gardens. Remember, that was our first one. What the heck is that? Oh, a little piton. Oh, it's a bug. It's a bug. It's a bug. Oh my God, it's a bug. I touched it.
Okay.
I touched it. It might be dead.
Okay.
Sorry. Focus. Did I say a bad word?
No.
Sorry. Okay.
We're good.
Sorry.
All right. We clearly need to go to bed soon.
I think we need to go to bed.
Okay.
We'll think about a theme. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. We'll think about a theme for spring, though. Let's think about that, because I know you all want to know. I know did they ever hook fire screens?
Well, I have a friend who hooked a fireplace, a roaring fire, to put in her fireplace when she wasn't using the fire.
Okay, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to answer that question in a second. You know how some fire screens are, sorry, heebie-jeebies still. You know how some fire screens are metal mesh, and some of them are wider gauge, and some of them are really small gauge, like a window screen. Yeah. Ones that are wider gauge, you can hook into them.
Ooh.
So, I mean, you don't want to hook into them and then put them in front of the fire, but they are decorative. You can use, and they are not flexible. So if you're going to hook into a fire screen, you want to use a fine hook and think about what you want to use to hook. But it's not going to work great to fill it in like a rug, but it will work great if you do like kind of William Morris flowers or something filigree that's a pattern that's not completely chock-a-block full, right? You can hook into fire screen. So the answer to did anybody rug hook a fire screen, the answer is no. They needle-pointed fire screens, but the reason they didn't hook fire screens was because the reason the fire screens were there were so women could see by the fire while they did their night work. And they did have wax-based makeup, but that was earlier than people were rug hooking by like many decades. Right. So they had literally the base for their cosmetics was wax. And if they sat by the fire, it would literally drip off their face. So that's what the screens were there to protect from, and those two things didn't cross on a chronological timeline. So no, they did needlepoint then. So that's why we see needlepoint screens. Yes. But you could hook a rug, right? You know, because you see them empty at antique stores. You always see them empty, right? You could do one of those standing screens.
But also, you know, Magpie embraces lots of different fiber arts. So needlepoint.
Needlepoint fits in
come
there
in
too.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't really see hooked screens for the fireplace. And again, I think it has to do with chronology because rug hooking comes in a little bit later in the 19th century. And at that point, we're like past the American and the British Industrial Revolution. We're not using the fireplace really to like heat and to cook and to do all those things anymore. And the emphasis isn't on the fireplace. People are getting like the Franklin stoves and like the new fangled things that are more compact. And a fireplace in your house now for us having a beautiful old house with a giant fireplace from the 1600s would be a treat, but at that time people did not want those houses because they were old fashioned. So by the time we hit rug hooking, we're kind of past like that mentality of like the home and the hearth. We're more like everything is a bit more modern already. So no, we're not seeing really anything hooked other than a hearth rug.
Right, hearth rugs.
Yeah, that we see as an accessory to the fireplace because still the timelines don't match up.
Yeah.
But these are all things that you could do that would be a lot of fun to do. Sage Gardens, Ruth, good to see you. We're just about to log. I was thinking about doing a spring Magpie Times on Monday. You haven't gone over it yet. No, I do need to think about that. That'll be my bedtime thought as I drift off the cliff. I'll be thinking about that because we do need a spring theme. So the first time we did historic garden, so it was a garden and flower theme. This year we did fairy houses, I think. Was it fairy houses? I think it was fairy houses. Or no, that was still the first one. Fairy gardens. Right. That was still the first one.
Because this spring will be the second one, won't it?
It will be the second one.
Yeah.
So what did we do?
It was wasn't it the state fair? No.
No, that was autumn. That was the first autumn. God, I'm trying to picture the cover. Judy did the cover. It was the Victorian kids.
Yeah. And it was,
I think it was fairy houses, fairy gardens. Fairy houses.
Gnomes. I wrote an article about gnomes. So
you did. I think it was fairy something.
Yeah, it's fairy stuff.
Yeah, it was fairy stuff. So yeah, we're ready for a departure. We could do something different.
Pollinators.
Pollinators.
Or like, it was a fairy garden. What about more the concrete garden, like seed packets, like that bag you bought today?
Ooh, like vintage.
Seed packets.
Yeah.
And
Karen, that fits everything that you do already for the pitter pad.
And the thinking about the insects that you'd have in a garden, or the bunnies you want to keep out of your garden. There's a lot of
critters. Everything comes back alive. Could do general like Mother Nature.
Oh, here's what she's saying. She's saying you have not gone over springs. So you have not done a show.
Oh, content-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. I never think to cover my own magazine. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I never do. I cover everybody else's. That's a great idea. Let's do that Monday. I can do that Monday. Thank you. Sorry. That's a great idea. But you're giving me baby animals. That's a really cute idea, Kay. Mm-hmm. Evolution of stove side rugs. Ooh, that's a great subject for an article.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see how brainstorming works here?
This is fun.
I know, it's so good. Whenever I'm at a dead end with like my brain and I feel like I'm just ready to park myself and die, I put something out here and it's just like, boom. It's just like, super, super, super inspiration, snowballing.
It's neat.
Yeah.
How it builds on itself.
It does. Yeah, everybody's so creative. And we all have the different thoughts coming out. You get stuck in your own ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always have that. Okay, great idea. So I will come back to you Monday and we will talk about the spring issue of Magpie, which we never do. We never talk about Magpie. Let's do it. I've honestly, I haven't looked at it that closely myself. It's been that nutty. So hey, have a happy weekend, everybody. Remember, wish Rebecca luck because she is headed out to the McGowan workshop this week. It's going to be fun. You're going to be visiting with friends, doing lots of projects. Someone else is going to be hanging the show this time.
Yeah.
So it's not like
last
you.
Yeah, last year
it was all you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll still help out.
Yeah, of course. And so we'll be doing that tomorrow. Of course, you can log on for the sermon in the morning. I hope that you enjoy state flowers. Mm-hmm. Ooh, state flowers. Oh, I like that too. Ooh. Gosh, that's a great idea. Judy says, good luck to both of us. And I will be back with you on Monday for coffee time. We will shoot for 11 a.m. Let me just check the calendar. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Wednesday, I will go to the McGowan show. So, yeah, we have a nice week coming up. We'll have a lot of nice time together. Next Friday, we will be running coffee time again. And I think it will be the gallery night episode. So be sure that you are sending me your rugs. If you've already sent one for gallery time, there was a little bit of a hold because I didn't have enough to do it 2 weeks ago. So if you're working on something new since then, send that too. Let's get that in there. Summer's a little hard. Not that many people are interacting. So send whatever you're working on so we have plenty of content for next Friday night, the gallery night episode. I will look forward to getting that stuff at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. Gail, oh, it's been lovely being with you too. Thank you so much, everybody, for your best wishes. I hope that you'll be watching. I hope you'll be there in person with us or watching online. I'm super, super excited to share that with you. It was awesome sharing tonight with you.
Super fun.
Always fun being together. I will see you on Monday, and we will see you next time. Take care.